All right, cool. We were back live.
Sweet.
How was the run there, feller? Good
I was
start
good.
to midday
I
here.
was, yeah, typically I run in the morning, but I've got construction stuff going on in the house. Didn't work out. So yeah, just a simple little over 4 mile run.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good.
That's good stuff.
It was good because I got to do a bunch of monthly reporting later today, get some caffeine going and get after it.
That
So
is
yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. That I'm actually curious about that now. Like the reporting side, and I know you had a couple topics that you want to get to. Have
Yeah.
you found a good way to like automate reporting? That's because I think we chatted about this before that you alluded to. I mean, I don't know if it was like setting up projects in ChatGPT because I know you guys are using
Yeah.
ChatGPT, but what have you done like automating your reports there?
Yeah. I have a way to speed things up, but then it helps gut check some of the reality of things where you still have to do manual audit. There's no way to automate it. I always look at it as like if you automate the report, then you don't look at the report and you don't have insights, right? As much as the AI can give insights, it's maybe not what your service line is or your focus, etc. Maybe you could build an amazing prompt and it automates it, and it's fine. But for what I've done for right now is that uh, you could use Looker Studios or we use Dashes to pull reports. So I can actually print that as a PDF. Same thing with Looker Studio, and I could feed that report. Let's say it's for March to it in a thread that's just you don't need to have like a project. It just be the same thread you use for that one client, and you train it on like here's how I like to do a monthly report. You give it an example, etc. But what happens is if you feed it the PDF for March, and the next month is April, you just let it know like, hey, here's the data for March, or here's your month for April. It'll put it in the right format, plus and minus numbers, etc. Maybe get some color commentary, but then I can still go through double check all the numbers are right because it can hallucinate. But PDFs are pretty good that they're reading these days. But then it helps me build that shell to where I just need to make sure I got my screenshots in there. Those are manual that I do sometimes, but then also the analysis looking at it. So make sure it has context. So it definitely helps speed up some of the copy paste stuff. Maybe some things I didn't look at from an analysis perspective, but that's what I've been doing so far from an automation standpoint.
Yeah,
Not sure about you.
pretty similar at this point. And I we use Claude, and I haven't, to be honest, I haven't tried co-work with reporting. I'm gonna try that this month, and then maybe I could speak to that um, moving forward to see how helpful that would be. But very similar. Like a lot of like if you're we're talking like paid SEO, like digital marketing reporting.
Yeah.
Like the format of your report's not going to change a whole time. You know what I mean? Like you're
Typically
not going to
it's
have to
yeah, yeah,
recreate the whole thing every month.
yeah. But
So
it's just the insights that I think are still key to draw from, or even some custom screenshots, because there
that's
is, I think there's a tremendous amount of value in the monthly report that comes across.
and I also feel like that's definitely one aspect of like the human touch that I think AI is going to struggle with. I don't know, maybe that's like a little biased statement, but just like looking from some of like the insights that AI has provided when it comes to like a weekly or monthly report, some of them are like definitely solid, but you also can understand from like experience of like that's just not realistic, that call out. Like that's not going to happen, or like that's not really like good example being like, one thing that comes to mind is like competitor search campaigns being like a recommendation of like, hey, I think like you should invest in competitor search campaigns and poach competitor traffic from your, key competitors or like whatever. Like, hey, maybe we've like tried that in the past and like cost per acquisition was just like way too high compared to like some of these other campaigns, and like we're gonna invest elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like there's some
Yeah,
call outs that are like, if you don't really know what you're looking at and you kind of just like, little bit, like, oh, this sounds like really good. But once you have some experience and you kind of like have tested certain things in your account and you've done certain things and whatever, pulling from your experience, you kind of know like not the best insights ever.
so I completely agree because you got to realize like where is the AI being trained to give you that response? Like what's the data set? And it's going to be the internet, right? And the internet, well, there's two sources. There, people prompting stuff and putting stuff in Chat GPT or in the LLMs to learn from it. That's probably better than the internet in some of this instances because, like, okay, Trevor, it's like them talking and calling out a competitor report. It's a blog post someone did on their website, right? Or a LinkedIn post, or it's a Reddit thread, right? And it's like, how many times have you ever looked at one of those blog posts? You're like, sure,
It's kind of
concept's right,
fluff.
but it's
Yeah.
fucking fluff,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
and it's like, I do think that people need to understand that it's like most of it is fluff. If you've asked it to like do recommendations, like they're super fluffy on the recommendations. It's like almost like someone read a blog post, like, look at this guy, he's a fucking guru expert. He said you should do this, blah blah blah. And it's like you totally miss the concept of things. You know, that's where I think ChatGPT and LMs miss because of what they're being trained on. You're only as good as it, right?
That's such a good reminder because I think people, I
They think
feel,
it's fucking genius. It's just like it'll make shit up. No, it's just based off of fucking patterns people did before. It's
yeah,
not like creating new patterns,
it's so true.
you
I think
know?
that's a really good reminder because I've definitely, I don't know, maybe like forgot that from time to time or like whatever, but it's like, this wasn't like an original thought. Like this wasn't like an original, hey, I
Correct.
analyzed this data and like I thought this. It was more of like, to your point about looking at, certain trends and patterns and pulling from other sources. So it's not like an original idea. And I think to
I
like
think
come up with
anything with
something,
chat, anything AI, you got to have that filter in your head. It's just
yeah,
that's where I think it's excels at certain things and it's bad at others. Like, cool, give me the report template coming in from a formatting standpoint. Save me a lot of time that way. Give me some areas that I need to look at potentially, but like, don't do the analysis. Let me do the analysis. Unless the analysis
yeah,
is math and you're trying to show me trends, cool. But don't tell me competitor campaigns, right? Because that's just the trend. That's just fluff that comes across. I think there's so much context that we have within each client account that something would just wouldn't make sense, you know?
exactly.
And it's not even valuable. And then you're going to get a report that just it's fluff, and it's like, sure, maybe that'll be fine for some people if you're trying to scale and you're not really caring about it too much. But that's where I think it misses the ball completely. Um, you got to be careful with that because we have to bring the original thought. AI is not going to.
I think it's like honestly such a good reminder. It's like so easy to like lose track of that, especially when you're like doing a bunch of different stuff. Be like, wow, like this is really cool. Like it just
I
brings
struggled once where I
information
was
up.
kind of developed like I was doing some ideation on like a new product type of thing. And I was sitting there doing dictation with ChatGPT, and I spent maybe like an hour and just trying to develop it, give me the pricing. It's really nifty. It's like gave me the deliverables, gave me the pricing and its logic of how it's being priced, etc. And I look at it, I'm like, this is like overcomplicated shit. It's not what I need to sell. Like, it's nothing unique here. This is just like marketing crap. I'm like, I just wasted an hour of time where I should have probably spent 15 minutes and be like, oh, this is a lot simpler than I need to, you know?
Yeah, one hundred
Like
percent.
it failed me in that sense because I thought it was going to be original, etc. But it really struggled in that sense. So yeah, original thought idea, man. AI is not the best at it. You know, matching data points and things like that. Sure, it's fantastic, but like, yeah, I think on the marketing perspective, it fails a lot.
Yeah, which I definitely appreciate having a ton of reps pre AI with weekly and monthly reports, and think that gives you a lot of like insight and a lot of like good experience to pull from. But if you're just starting out, I can only imagine just starting out, just like doing like weekly, monthly reports, having AI and never doing that pre AI. And I don't know. I feel
You
like
would think
that's a,
everything it puts out is accurate and like what you should be doing from a client perspective,
yeah,
and even some of the tone. And we talked about this before, even before AI, was like the way that you report or talk about, like you're not trying to like what's it called overemphasize your work or your impact being done. It's like, you know, that definitely shows that we're hitting our CPCs and we're getting a cost per lead that shows a great ROI investment. Like, you know, it's like thumbs up, everybody. It's
yeah,
like you don't do that in a report. You let the client bring that conclusion. Sure, call out maybe a point or two, but AI is like congratulated all over the place. Just really shows organic growth and strength. Blah blah blah. It's like, bro, like
yeah. It's just not it.
tell me when it does bad. You know, I'm like, yeah. Anyways,
Couldn't agree more. I'll let you know if co-work is helpful with pushing reporting a little bit further along, but it feels like
wait.
we're kind
So
of
I
like
must have missed that. What's the co-work side of things? Did I just my ADD brain did not
it's
catch that?
it's it's like ChatGPT's. I think they call it Codex. Um,
Okay,
I think so, but it's actually like they're like little like pre-built-in agent where like can actually like do tasks for you.
right. And you're testing that out then?
So I was going to test that out on some monthly reports this month and see how that works. Because before I'm doing it pretty similar to what you have. Like I'll have projects built out and then like just certain like chat threads.
Yeah, maybe
And
something that speeds up the process. I would be curious about that. I've used Codex to vibe code something that worked fucking pretty cool, but it was mostly coding. So I haven't really
yeah,
done any Codex stuff that's like text based
yeah.
at
So
all.
this is Cowork in Claude, and I haven't used it for like reporting in specific. I've used it for other things. I'm going to see if I could help like have it pull some data for me and like take that a little bit step further. But I think to our main point about like insights and like future looking recommendations and stuff, I don't know if we're like ever going to get fully automated. I think you probably can for maybe like a lower touch account, or I don't know. But I think if you're like owning that relationship, you're going to speak to that client, like you're really like on the hook for performance, you're going to have to pull like those insights from your experience and like what you're actually
Yeah, I
seeing in
mean,
the
I,
data.
I think it would be really cool if I can build something where it's like monthly pulls the PDFs down, creates the template. So I go in and then I just dictate what I see through in here. Maybe I take some screenshots. It knows where to put it, formats it all, then puts it in a Basecamp or email message to the client and gets it out. That's just a time consuming tasks.
Exactly.
Is that part? So maybe it can speed things up. Interesting. Okay.
Well, on this topic here, I know you put in the Reddit thread there, and then the announcement from Oracle, and I feel like we talked about this with
Yeah, I think they'll segue good.
2-ish weeks ago with like Block, and maybe honestly probably like a little bit longer now um, with their layoffs, and Jack's like
Well,
Twitter post about how a lot of companies are going to like follow suit. I wonder if like this is in response to that, because I also saw Meta was like considering like a 20% workforce reduction, and some other companies there. So I don't know if you could give some like context on like
yeah,
the
let me
Oracle
pull
update.
some. Yeah, let me pull some stuff up here. Let me get the Oracle stuff. Um, yeah, I guess before I touch base on the Oracle item, um, and the Reddit, and I think this hits right into AI related stuff. This is a chart regarding. Saw it on
A
X.
content creation chart.
Yeah. Let me share my
I forgot that
screen.
you shared this one. This one was
Yeah,
gnarly.
so let's hit this as the segue. Let's see. Per screen. Here we go. First one is we have been surpassed. AI written output exceeds human written output in 2025. This is from Ark Invest, which they're pretty legitimate like investment group. And the chart's pretty straightforward. You have there was a trillion words on the left, and in the bottom you got the year, and you have two lines: human written and AI. Human's been slowly growing over the years, which is to be said, and then all of a sudden, this is probably like 2024. I'm assuming like here, I can't tell, and then all of a sudden 2025, it's
That is
way past it. So it
insane.
took 1 year to get more written AI content out, which I get it, man. Yeah, AI content is out there for sure. And I'm not sure if this is like only logged across the web or other items, but I'm sure internally people are using AI to write stuff, be it, outside of web related items, but it's there. I have
That is so bizarre to see, and how much like slop was included in that. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's the
god, there's
problem.
just
Is the
so
slop.
much.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
just like so much information out there, but this is one of the craziest charts ever to see. Um,
Yeah, it like I was like, oh wow, maybe I'd see like an in growth like slowly over time, or take it over in a year or two. Not like in 1 year we've written more words. AI's written more words than humans, like by almost not half, but like a tremendous amount. So it's like great, that's
that's
what's out there.
absurd.
And then the AI is going to start ingesting that, so it's AI learning off of AI, and it's like the snake eating the snake, and the world's over. Let's go do something else.
That
So
is so bizarre.
but yeah, let me switch into the Reddit post. I thought this was interesting because this, I think we've talked about this before. Of I think this is it. Yeah, we've talked about before. Whoa, did that go right? Did I present? Oh, what am I doing? Does this look
I
all
got your
right?
LinkedIn screen.
All right, cool. Yeah, so it's just this Reddit post here that actually goes here to Reddit. Sorry, what am I doing? Did that go off or are you still in that? Ah, dang it. 1 second. Wrong one. Let me get the right link. Share screen.
It said
So
Reddit is for
basically,
humans and a few good bots.
yeah. So basically, Reddit's going to be asking people to verify they're actually humans because they've got a huge bot problem. So, Trevor, why do you think they have a bad bot problem?
Probably a couple different reasons, but I'm assuming AI being obviously like one of them.
Yeah, that's where I think this is leading, is that they have gotten spammed like crazy
Yeah.
because a lot of the AI systems, we've talked about this before, cite Reddit threads. And so it's like, dude, you build a bot farm of different bots and you create your own eco environment, you can influence the AI results because of
Yeah.
that. So that's probably one of the bigger reasons for it all. I mean, outside of popularity, maybe they got to make sure that, the content that's being created for their ads, they're not getting false impressions on crap threads. I've actually never really thought about that with Reddit ads. It's like how much of your impressions are being served to bots, you know?
And then I know we talked about this before, but like, all these social platforms are obviously incentivized to show daily active users are growing. And like, I know that was a big deal when Elon bought Twitter and just trying to like actually get through like, okay, how many are humans versus bots? So like they're incentivized, but it sounds like this is probably impacting like the quality of the platform where Reddit like really needs to like step in here.
Yeah, and there's tools out there that you can build bot farms easily these days. I mean, I say it sounds like it's so easy, but like that's not a hard thing to do anymore. So it's like, hey, if you look like a bot, they're going to ask you to verify yourself, um, and go from there, which I think is a good idea because then you turn into, Reddit could be eventually not genuine content. It's like, what was that, Claude book or whatever it was, where like all the Claude bots had their own social media and they were like bots talking to each other.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you don't know what's real on Reddit versus not. So I think it's a good idea.
So things are just going
Hopefully
to be
add some
labeled
credibility.
bots versus humans.
Yeah, yeah,
It's kind of like the verification. It's like another layer to this. It's like, your normal account, your verified account. Now it's like you're a human or a bot account.
yeah. And I do think a lot of it is the AI spam stuff because I will tell you, and I've told it before, the AI team, the AI like community, the black hat, gray hat people, they find a kink in the armor at Google or an AI system, they will violate it like crazy, and they push hard until it breaks. So I mean, this is definitely, I think, a big pushback from there. So there's that one. Good luck spamming Reddit these days, folks. And then the last one that kind of tears into, I'm not sure if it was AI related in the comment. I didn't look that far into the post. I think I was a little bit more just shocked on the way.
I saw it. So this is the Oracle one.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the article.
I saw it was partly due to their investments in data centers and future investments in data centers. So I think they essentially slashed 30,000 jobs. What a headline here.
Which is fine. 30,000 jobs is one thing, but like, dude, with a cold 6 a.m. email.
That is insane.
Yeah, it wasn't a meeting, it was a phone call for thousands of dollars. Just a Tuesday morning began with a single email landing in their inboxes just after 6 a.m. EST. By the time finishing reading it, their careers at one of the world's largest tech companies were over. People were talking about on Slack, like all of a sudden the Slack counts, user counts just dropped like crazy. Let me pull up that thread.
Yeah.
Let me see. Stop.
Yeah. That's how you
Share.
know there's like layoffs going on. It's like people's slacks just start disappearing.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's insane. So there's a Reddit thread. So let's see if it's actually real people or not. Employees of Oracle, and I haven't looked at this in a couple days. Um, yeah, they were talking about all of these just threads of just people, Zorgical, fired 30,000, just people getting laid off left and right, and talking about Slack. And it's pretty bad, dude. Some people are talking about some pretty personal stuff on here, and like people almost retired, getting laid off. But it's like, man, 30,000 it's a lot to go off a cold email, but I mean, it is what it is.
Ah, man.
It's different than what was the other company that we had talked about that Dorsey was
Block.
Block, where they did it right. It seemed like, as far as
Yeah.
giving severance pay, etc. You
Severance pay
know,
was crazy. How they communicated it, like it was just like a whole different ball game. And
yeah,
clearly kind of articulated why it was happening, what the future looked like, and everything. And it seems like in this one, it was much more of an abrupt halt there. And dude, that's just like so savage. Man, I just like, I have so many thoughts there, but I just feel like I was talking to somebody the other day, but I feel like you know, like, like your parents and maybe like the generation before, like you go to school and you get like a really good company and like you just have a career like Coca-Cola for like 40 years or like whatever. You get a pension, you're working somewhere. It's like not a thing anymore. That's just like that
pension.
concept is
You ask
like It's
I don't know. I think if you ask anybody under the age of 30 what a pension is, they'd be like, "What is that?"
exactly.
Like I barely know what a pension is because I think my dad was like one of the last couple of years they were giving out pensions at the company.
That's
You
like
know,
so rare anymore.
maybe if you're in more of the firefighter type stuff, they'll do pensions, but that's more based off of union work and stuff like that. But it's like you don't hear that as a pension. Like, no way, man. They don't
Not at
care.
all.
There is no loyalty at companies anymore. That's where we've talked about it before, man. I think like as a contractor, you're probably better off. To be honest, like you have your own loyalty if you can set that up.
And
So
doing some freelance work and maybe just starting your own agency and doing your own thing based off your experience. And like we mentioned this last pod of, Fortune 500 companies like really investing in like vendors and like freelancers and stuff.
yeah, that's
And
right.
like, it might be like beneficial to them. Like they don't have to hire somebody full time and worry about like healthcare and benefits and everything like that. It's like, hey, you just have a vendor. If they do great work, you don't have to pay those benefits. And then, if it doesn't work out, like you can quickly swap in another one. It's like mutually beneficial there. It's I feel like there's like I don't know. It's a tough one because I feel like somebody, if you talk to somebody who's like at a company for like 10 plus years, you're like, whoa, like that's wild. Like that is a really long time to be at a company. And back in
Nowadays,
the day, it was
yeah,
like not even a thing, but now,
yeah,
and then so it's like this stuff where it's like you get these monster companies like Oracle, I think had like a record profit year last year. And like they're building out the AI infrastructures, they're buying TikTok, like they're doing incredible. And then they're laying off 20% of their workforce. I've also seen now that I think is like somewhat related to this, but there's some like automated um, like delivery cars that are now getting damaged, and that's there's like a term for it. I forget what it's called, um, but there's a term for it now where like people are like literally just like damaging like bot cars basically that are like doing like delivery type services, and I feel like it's a similar. I don't know. I just feel like we're getting into weird times, is what I'm trying to say here, with like AI and like massive layoffs combined with like massive amounts of like automation. And I think through there's definitely going to be some societal turmoil. Now, hopefully it leads to like a lot of positive outcomes, but living through it and seeing this stuff happen,
it's
I
weird.
don't know, it's interesting time to say the least.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like even like client related stuff, I'm seeing it more and more often. Like we've talked about before, client communications with AI, or like you know, they're putting stuff through, and you're like, man, it's a waste of my like. Is this productive? It's definitely interesting.
Uh,
Uh,
I
even
see that
building,
stuff all the time. Oh my God, it's like so tough.
yeah, yeah. So, a couple other things I thought was interesting to bring up was maybe two features on like the paid side. I'd love to get your take on it. I saw that Apple Maps is getting ready to launch their own ads, which I thought was pretty interesting for any sort of local service based client. I think that could be huge
100%.
because I don't know what the interface is going to look like, for it all, but I think that's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, I wonder
Um,
what the ads manager platform side is going to look like, but massive
yeah,
opportunity there.
I know they're like when we did app ads, it's pretty basic. So
Yeah,
I just think like any small business owner or anybody working on a local service client, like
it's a
I don't know,
no-brainer.
man, like Android or like I'm not an Android guy, I'm an Apple dude, and like I don't ever use Google Maps. Like there's a weird, they've done a good job of the walled garden effect where it's like, okay, cool, that's the one spot we could get access. Like I wonder what sort of impression share is in there.
I'd
Um,
probably think a solid amount though.
Yeah, I would think a good amount.
Yeah.
You could probably take a look at your Apple Business Center accounts. You could get like it's kind of like a Google My Business for Apple, and you can get impression views. Maybe you get some idea of what might be there, but that's just organic. But yeah, if you could start bidding on stuff like that, I might do that for my brother's company right here, Busters. Test them out as a guinea pig
I think it makes
on that.
sense. And I think we talked about this before with like the local search ads. But like a lot of like the local map results on Google, like they started like tweaking like the design and the layouts there where like a lot of the direction buttons and call buttons were being removed from the organic listings in favor of sponsored, and like the sponsored results would show like a big call button and directions and stuff. I don't know. I'm sure Apple would probably try something similar where like, hey, if you're going to pay and you're going to be like a near me, whatever service based business, you would get a return from it. I definitely think it'd be worth testing.
It's interesting too because it's native in their app. It's not like they're a search engine.
Exactly.
So it's native within the Apple interface that occurs. It's like, and it's going to be all desktop traffic, like 90%. I mean, I don't even know how you access Apple Maps on desktop, or would you?
I guess you could, but like I don't know. Yeah,
Why
I don't know.
wouldn't you?
I
Yeah,
don't, I've never do that.
yeah. So heavy mobile traffic. I think that could be like first movers could be some pretty cheap cost per clicks um, coming through.
That's cool.
But it's
All
also,
platforms lead
but
to
it's like,
ad monetization.
but it's also like, are people researching on Apple Maps versus trying to find and execute and go to a location? You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like, do you go to Apple Maps and say, I'm looking for Thai restaurants?
No,
And
it's more of like kind of like to go. Yeah, it's also a valid point. Yeah, it's like
it's
very
like,
valid.
it's like my brother's stuff. It's like, are they going to search for car window tinting in there
Probably not. You're probably doing some research before
or
you
a
then like type
plumber?
in where you're
Because
gonna
it could
go.
be a little bit more directional, kind of like advertising in ways, right? Which is definitely a thing that can be done. It's Google's. I don't even know if it's fucking still around, but I'm pretty sure it is. But it's like their traffic app, So it's like, oh, I could talk to people that had searched for. I can show them ads for Starbucks on their way. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see what the intent is there
I
for
think it's
that.
worth giving like a little incremental budget too, though, and seeing what that looks like for local
Yeah.
search. I
You
do
still got some time. I do have one more comment, and I'm curious if you got do you got to roll?
I do got to jump here.
All right. Well, then maybe
We're
we'll
gonna have
leave
to
it
call
for
the pod
next time.
here.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
we'll call it.
We'll tee it up for next time, but I think we at least covered enough, and then we'll drop at least 2 episodes this week to catch up. So yeah, we'll be back. All right, cool.
Right on. Thanks, Trevor.